Hey everybody. So yeah, so I'm working on this thing. It's coming along nicely. Last time I said I was gonna put this in a table format and then make it to where you count. And it's working pretty good, although there is one very interesting bug in here that I am I'm not exactly sure how I'm gonna fix it. I definitely am looking forward to spending some time on this. So when I get a chance, it is my day off, and my wife is waiting for me because I think we're gonna go get some Mexican food and then do some shopping. So that's gonna be fun. And it is a Saturday, so it's pretty cool. I don't get Saturdays off very often, so this is awesome. But anyways, let me hit start. So watch this. Watch this. Okay, I'm gonna click the button. Aqua. Now I'll click it again. Azure, and then I'll click it again. Aqua. Okay, but now watch. I'm gonna click it. Aqua. See, Aqua got printed out, but it never updated the count. And the reason I think it didn't update the count is I'm believing that because this result didn't change. I think since it's the same as before, it never published. So I think that what's happening is this signal doesn't fire because um, this is not a different value. Um, and that gets tricky because string a string is a string. It checks for equality and all that. So I think I'm gonna have to create an object or something like that. But anyways, so that's too far. So that's one very interesting thing, and I'm really excited because normally when you find bugs like this in production code, the whole system is so darn complex that um, it takes forever to find what the low level issue is. So this is a great little sort of microscope because there's not a lot of moving parts. But the other big thing that I wanted to point out, which it absolutely fascinates me, is like if I do this, Aqua. So I get an 89.24 score of confidence. But if I do this, Azure, I get a 76, significantly lower score. And then and then I can practice. I can go Azure, 72%. I even lost Azure, 82. So I got the highest one with Azure as anything as before. So let's try beige. I haven't tried beige, so let's see how I do on beige. Beige, 71. I thought I was gonna crush beige. Beige, 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 beige. Yeah, so beige. So 75. That's all right, but like, so I think this is a really good. Let's try blue. Blue, 83. So I don't know how I could say it any better. Blue, 84. I kind of put a little W at the end of that. Blue. Oop. Blue. I think that's the old one. Let me refresh. Blue, 85.5. So I feel like if I was like I always wanted to learn Spanish and stuff. I used to know Spanish, but now I don't know it anymore. This would be a great vocabulary like tester, that um, to print out like, hey, this is what I think you said, and this is the confidence of what I think you said is. Um, I think it has a lot of potential to be really, really helpful in that because trying to practice this stuff like a person won't give you that. Like, yeah, that kind of I can kind of hear it. Like this will actually give you a number score on like how much you sound like the language that you're trying to emulate. Uh, so that's really cool. So, anyways, there's some interesting stuff that I had to do on this one. First, let me move into this view here. Let's just go ahead and take over the screen. So in the styles, I needed to get rid of this overflow hidden. And the reason I needed to get rid of that was because basically you couldn't scroll. Um, and then that's pretty interesting because there's another funny little bug that wouldn't have happened in the actual demo because they changed the actual background of the whole thing, whereas I'm only changing this div, and this div is not going the whole height of the table, which is probably pretty easy to fix, but just something to note. And then in the HTML, um, I do not know why. I'm very, very curious, but having this as a p tag was causing a compile error. I don't think it should have been causing a compile error, but it was. And I don't know if I think, you know, I think that it's a problem in the transpiler. So if I change this to a P, wait a second. Oh yeah, so it was a P. So let's change it to a P. Sometimes I get confused when I P. Hit save. See, it's already throwing. It's showing an error right there at the red line. That should be fine. I don't understand why that's not working. Like I said, I do think that that is an Angular bug. Would be my guess, but I could be wrong. I'd say 99 times out of 100 when I think something's an Angular bug, I'm wrong. So I don't have a good track record when it comes to blaming Angular for things. But so the for loop, I basically added a table around it, and then and that's the other funny thing is if you remove the table, then it's happy with the p tags. Um, but I added a table around it, and then loop creating a row on each row, and then a TD data cell for the aqua and another data cell for the count. Um, so pretty straightforward. I think once you see it, and there's nothing too complicated about it. So I created a colors dictionary, and I created a colors type. Down here is the colors type. It's type dictionary. I say that the key is a string and that the value is a number. If I wanted to add, well, I was going to say if I wanted to add a confidence, I would have I could turn this to an object that has a number and a confidence number, so two numbers, but and then I could show them both and maybe show the last confidence of the last one. I guess, yeah, that could do that. So in the constructor, the initial time, there's a for each that does this. So this happens once. This is basically like a callback or, like a observable. Like it's not, it basically runs every time the effect is ran or every time this voice result executes. Somehow they're like, they see this effect and they know that they need to make, and they is Angular, they know they need to make some code that is basically listening for the voice result signal to fire. And as we know, the voice result signal will not fire if it's the same as the last voice result. So then it calls set result. And down here, I added a console log because I was trying to figure out why that bug was happening. And then in here, I added a console log. So I do think that the fix for that bug, well, let me go over this last surface, and then okay, and I added a console log here. So let me get rid of this. I think that was the only change. Okay, so I think the fix for this is to change this to an object from a string. So it's probably a bad idea to signal with primitives because you can't really change the reference. So you can't send it twice. It's not going to send the same thing twice. Apparently, that's my theory. And so if this was like if I had a color thing, color object, color result object, and I sent that, and it had, like, let's say it had the value, or yeah, it had the text and the confidence, then I could force it to be a new thing. My washing machine's going crazy, but anyways, that's that. I think this is going awesome. I love the idea that I kind of came up with what I think is a really good new feature for this. Maybe I can start learning how to say, like, I don't know, like HOLA in Spanish, I believe is pronounced hola, but maybe it's hola. I've heard people. Or what's the funny one? Country in Spain, España. Um, there's like a city, and everybody always says it in a funny way. But I don't know what that would maybe if I create a Spanish version of this, I'll be able to try these colors. And it would be interesting if the English word for aqua is different than the Spanish word. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Bye.